Hey, welcome back. We have a 2019 Beta RRS 350. It's the 4-stroke model. This is fuel injected. Customer brought it in saying that the injectors were leaking, which I had never really seen before. But you can see in this area how like dust is stuck to it and it's getting gummy. And on this side you can kind of see like fuel has actually stained like the cylinder, and the case is pretty good. And when he brought it in, it was leaking a little bit, and then I tinkered with it and it quit leaking. And by tinkering, I just pushed on this stuff here, and then I was like, well, I need to make a leak, so I squeezed it around a little bit more, and then it started leaking pretty good, almost like right out of the top of the injectors where the fuel line goes in. We'll give it a quick little start here. Oh, and this bike has 1,674 miles on it. So we'll just anyway, gosh, it's so yellow. We'll have to drain his gas for him. So yeah, it's leaking. What we'll do now is take the seat and the gas tank off and see what's going on down in here. Now that we have the Allen key out, we can pull the injector right out of the throttle body, and I'll flip it over. And we want to make sure that O-ring is okay on here, because we cannot order that separately. So I think what we'll do is we'll clean these O-rings up. There's going to be one under this cap here as well. So let me I'll get a screwdriver and we'll pull the electrical connector off of here. And then take our injector and unplug it. So now we've got the injector in our hand here, and we can separate this. We've got a metal clip. We'll take this over to the counter here. So what we'll do next is we'll take this metal clip off that's holding the cap on. We can take the top of this injector off. So if we wiggle that, we just pull up on it, we can separate it here. What we'll do is we'll grease these O-rings really well, and we'll clean them up, and we'll get them put back in here. The plastic all looks okay, nothing looks damaged, like it would be leaking. So we'll rebuild this assembly. Otherwise, we have to buy a whole new injector to get these O-rings. So let's try to clean this up for the customer first, and we'll put it back in. And now we'll rebuild the top of the injector. So now that it's all greased and cleaned out, slide it back down and reslide the metal clamp over to lock it in. And now we can reinstall this on the bike and get our electrical connector put back on. Now that we got the injector reinstalled with the bolt and the electrical connector, we're just going to set the gas tank on the bike here, and we'll plug it in. We're not going to screw it down. We can take it back outside, and we'll give it another shot here. All right, let's fire this bike back up. We'll get the key turned on. Let the fuel pump prime a little bit here. I think for us on this bike, the biggest issue was this clamp that's holding the fuel line on top of the injector wasn't all the way on. It was pushed forward a little bit, and I was letting this really rock back and forth before, a lot of movement, where now this is really solid. When I push on the hose, the black plastic that's on top of the injector is not moving with it, where before that whole thing would move and it was letting the fuel sneak by the O-ring. What I'm going to do is I'm going to let this bike cool all the way down, and I'm going to do the stepper motor reset on it. You can hear it whenever I first started it. The idling was hunting all over the place. And I have a video on YouTube as well of how to do a stepper motor reset. I would encourage you guys to do that every time you guys go to a new place to ride, or springtime you're going to ride different temperatures. You always want to do the stepper motor reset. So I'm going to go ahead and do that for the customer here. And I'm going to take care of some of his bolts in the back. His rear fender's kind of falling off, so I'm going to take care of him. I'll get him all buttoned up in the back. I'm going to put his battery in the tender just to make sure it's good for him there. And I think we've got this thing solved. So thanks for tuning in. If your injector is leaking a little bit, Take it apart like I did, grease your O-rings, make sure they're not too crushed on each side, and then go ahead and just make sure all those connectors are perfectly tight. I think his was a little bit loose, letting fuel by. So thanks for tuning in. This was Jared at 3C's Recreation. Have a great day.